Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Dominic Peterson, aka Doug Zone 503, talking all things Oregon football. If you're not following, if you're not subscribed already, go and smash those buttons below to join the Doug Zone family where we're always talking Oregon football at Doug Zone 503. You guys know what to do at Doug Zone 503, Instagram and Twitter. That's what I'm on to get the quickest updates from me. Go hit the follow button on there. Really appreciate how we've been growing on the social medias. Matter of fact, speaking of social medias, got you guys on the IG live. Every time I do the podcast, I always go live for you guys so you guys can get the news, get my take early in the morning before the episode comes out in the afternoon. Okay, let's talk about it, guys. We got big breaking news that happened yesterday. 5-star Dante Moore flipped his commitment to UCLA from Oregon, okay? Moore has been committed to the Ducks since July, this last summer, and he goes ahead and makes the flip after the news of Bo Nix coming back to Oregon. You know, the flip talk really started brewing when Kenny Dillingham left to Arizona State. Bo Nix is going to play in the bowl game. Talk started coming about, is he going to come back? And when he entered the bowl game, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were really, really confident that he was going to return. And I think that was pretty much the nail in the coffin for Dante Moore. You know, I think when he committed back in July, he probably didn't foresee Dillingham leaving after just 1 year. And at least me as well, I did not see Bo Nix coming back. Okay. I did not see him coming back for another year. So big surprise and a big early Christmas present for Duck fans from Bo Nix. We talked about it in the last podcast. While this is all happening, you see Dante Moore take a visit to UCLA. I come on the podcast and tell you guys there's nothing to worry about. This is just a trip to Southern California. I think he knows where he can be developed best, and boy, was I wrong. I'll tell you when I'm wrong. Rumor has it, UCLA, Chip Kelly, they were able to put up a good NIL deal, better than what Oregon, I think, was offering. And I think Chip Kelly also sold him on playtime. Look, DTR is out of there. Okay, he's off, and they have a position open where that was probably a good selling point for Oregon while he was getting recruited here at Oregon. Okay, the guy who was recruiting you the whole time, that was selling you the pipe dream at Oregon, left for another job, and you're sitting there like, well, damn. I don't know, they're I don't know how much of a connection Will Stein and Dante Moore have. I don't think Dante Moore really gave Stein an opportunity to really recruit him and get him back on campus and really, sell that, which, I'm grading Stein as we go. I wish you would have kept him around. But when you got a guy like Bo Nix, okay, one of the top quarterbacks in college football coming back to your program, I mean, it's not a bad trade, okay? Bo Nix had a complete career year here at Oregon. I think him having a wife, having to start a family, getting that, I'm pretty sure there's a probably good NIL incentive for Bo Nix to stay. I'm pretty sure Oregon can offer him the money of what he was going to get for a mid-round draft pick, where he was kind of projecting that 3rd, 4th, 5th round. I'm pretty sure Oregon can come up with that money and an NIL package to retain Nix here. And, with everything happening, Dillingham leaving, Chip Kelly, going to sunny LA. I mean, the dude's from Michigan, right? Cold Michigan. You go to LA, California. I mean, compare that to Eugene even. I mean, I love Eugene, don't get me wrong, but come on, LA lifestyle, going out there, you have the opportunity to start day one. You're getting a nice NIL deal. I can see why who wants to go ahead to UCLA. I can't knock the kid. I'm not one of those guys to come out here and just start raging on high school kids for changing their decision where they want to go for their future. It's just not me. Okay. So someone who, looked at colleges before and know how stressful this deal is and know how fast that, high school kids can change their decision with any given information handed to them. You just can't get too locked in on commits. And I know it's really easy on the big time commits, and it makes you mad when they say one thing one day and go to do the other. But this is the art of recruiting. And if you get emotional about it, it's probably ain't the thing for you to really be paying attention to. But, ESPN comes out with the report at the moment when Dante Moore came out that he was committing to UCLA. ESPN reported that Moore visited UCLA earlier this month and said he picked the Bruins because he felt like he would be the best for his development. In that sense, right there, what I take from it is, I kind of disagree with that statement from Moore, honestly, because if he was looking to develop, if that was his main thing is development, now I get it. You got to play to develop the best, okay? If you just sit there on the bench, you're not going to develop the way you're supposed to and hit your max potential. But this is the thing, man. When you can sit behind one of the best quarterbacks in college football in Bo Nix, okay? Statistically, he had one of the better seasons. He was getting there in the Heisman conversation before he got injured. Say what you want about the man. The dude had a career year at Oregon, and he had them sitting right out the college football playoff before he got hurt in that Washington game. And they end up losing, and then their offense kind of struggles after that. Then their defense really struggled late in the season as well. But my point is being, if Moore was talking about development in this ESPN article, the best thing for him to do is sit 1 year behind one of the best quarterbacks and learn. Okay, learn the offense of Will Stein. Okay, this is new, and have that relationship develop. Okay, the transfer portal always going to be there. If you're Dante Moore, you could go ahead and transfer to UCLA next year if you want to. But if you're really worried about development, honestly, in my humble opinion, I think you should, if you really want the best development, sit behind Bo Nix. Don't throw yourself into the fire of that is D1 college football. Okay, these kids, okay, they're 5 stars. They're coming in on the high school level, but I mean, that doesn't translate automatically to Division I football, okay? P5 level football. So some guys just got to pump the brakes a little bit. And if he's talking about he wants to develop, he should have really came here at Oregon. In my humble opinion, I'm not just saying that as a homer. I'm saying that for any quarterback that's coming out of the high school level. I think the best thing for him, no matter how talented you are, dude, is to sit back 1 year and really get the grasp of things before you get handed the keys. Okay, not a lot of programs out here, not a lot of big time programs just handing the keys out to young kids coming out of high school. So he's going to get the opportunity. Most likely he's going to have to battle a transfer. He's going to have to work for it to go to UCLA. Continuing on this ESPN report here, he says he indicated, as in Dante Moore, the biggest factor in this flip from Oregon was former Oregon offensive coordinator Kenny Dillingham taking the head coaching job at Arizona State. So like I just stated, this was a huge factor. When this happened, my mind went to Dante Moore when Kenny Dillingham was going to Arizona State. Did I think Moore would follow to Arizona State and that dumpster fire? No, I didn't think that was going to happen. More than likely, I told you guys on the podcast when he visited UCLA that I thought he might flip to Michigan State because that's where he's from. But it's obvious that he loves the West Coast. It's obviously that he wants to play away from home out here on the West Coast. And why not do it in sunny LA, start day one and get a nice NIL deal, one that Oregon probably wasn't offering at all after retaining Bo Nix. But it's just funny how in that same statement, and I'm not knocking the kid, and if he looks at it as if he can start day one and that's how he can develop better, I totally get your point there. I'm not arguing against that. But what I am saying is I think you could develop a lot better if you had some patience. And not just Dante Moore, it's a lot of recruits had some patience and, really took your time to develop 1 year behind a quarterback. So Oregon loses the number 3 quarterback in the nation, number 3 national player in the 2023 class right before signing day, which obviously hurts, but don't fret, don't frown, because you got a guy in Bo Nix returning. Guy was in the Heisman conversation, Maxwell Award finalist, had a career year. So it's going to be good to see what Bo Nix can do in his returning year. Now, Oregon is still going to have to find a guy in the transfer portal or recruiting class, more than likely transfer portal. Maybe just one more guy that's willing to sit down and develop and understand that there is somebody starting here. Now, I have some guys that's been listed on Twitter, kind of in the talks, rumor mill. So let's talk about it, guys. Who could the Ducks potentially land now that Dante Moore is out of the picture? We got a starter. Who can kind of back up guys? So obviously Ty Thompson's still in the program, hasn't transferred. That was another sign that I was kind of looking at as going, Bo Nix might return here because, if he wasn't, Dante Moore was coming in. I was expecting kind of Ty Thompson to transfer out as well as Jay Butterfield, but Ty Thompson stays. So that's somebody who could back up Bo Nix next year. Of course, Hudson Card, the Texas transfer, Hudson Card. He found himself competing with Quinn Ewers the coveted quarterback battle there, but ended up losing that battle. Oregon offensive coordinator, the new offensive coordinator, Will Stein, coached Card at Lake Travis High School. As you know, Will Stein was a Texas high school coordinator in 2019. So there's some relationship there with those guys. And when Ewers was injured against Alabama and, he was forced to miss time, Card stepped in and completed 69.4% of his passes, almost 70% completion rating, 928 yards, 6 touchdowns, and just 1 interception. So it's not like the kid can ball, or can't ball. He can ball now. He was 14-22, 158 yards against the Crimson Tide. He's a top 40 recruit coming out of high school, started 5 games. Card was ranked number 70th nationally coming out of the class of 2020, and he was the number 4 dual threat quarterback, number 10 overall in Texas. So that's a big-time quarterback Oregon go after in the transfer portal, no doubt. Hudson Card would be great. I'm not sure if he would really want to come here after transferring from Texas, not getting that starting spot. I'm pretty sure he'd want to go to a place where he could start. But, I mean, hey, if Oregon can land him as a backup, the more the merrier, right? Another guy at the prep level that I keep my eye on if you're an Oregon fan is Austin Novstad. Austin Novstad is a 2023 prep quarterback. He's currently a Baylor commit, 4-star quarterback at a Dripping Springs High School in Texas, number 9 quarterback in the 2023 class, number 86 nationally. So big time quarterback, another top 10 quarterback in this class. Obviously not there at the Dante Moore level where he's top 3, but still nonetheless top 10 in this class. But I'm not sure how realistic it is for Oregon to land him this late in the process. I mean, during an interview with Inside the Bears earlier this month, Novstad noticed his intent to enroll early at Baylor, actually. He quoted, and this is Novstad saying this, "In January, I'm going to play in the All-American Bowl down in San Antonio, and then after that, I think we move in the second week of in January." Novstad told Locked On Baylor, "I'll be with the early enrollees at Baylor." So doesn't look realistic for Oregon to come in. They possibly could, but it looks like he's pretty locked in there, wanting to be an early enrollee. Could go after Hudson Card. Not sure how realistic that is for Oregon as well, given I think Hudson Card will want to start anywhere he goes. Nostad compiled a 27-6 career record at Dripping Springs High and threw for 9,197 yards and 116 touchdowns. So big-time coveted quarterback at the prep level that Oregon could possibly go after and land. I did hear that there was an in-home visit. Still couldn't find which coach gave him an in-home visit. But yeah, big time. Dan Lanning and the staff is definitely on a look for a quarterback. So be on the lookout, guys. Oregon loses on their 5-star quarterback. Yes, it hurts. Okay, I understand. There's a lot to be enraged about, but this isn't the program bomb like it would be about a decade ago. Okay, and my tweet yesterday pretty much sums it up. Okay, if you guys aren't following at DucksZone503 Instagram and Twitter, I put out a tweet right when this was happening. I said, "Look, guys, here's the deal. Losing out on a 5-star quarterback hurts. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't. But this isn't a decade ago where if you were to lose a 5-star quarterback like this, that it's a complete blow to your program. The transfer portal / NIL age has proven you can reload your roster instantly. And I'll give you examples, guys. Look at USC this year. Okay, was sitting right outside the college football playoff before they lost. They had bring in Caleb Williams, Jordan Addison, a whole plethora of guys from the transfer portal that just transformed their roster. Oregon State, they're not really good at the prep level of recruiting, but they're really good at finding key transfers that fit their system. That's really good. Washington, University of Washington, bring in Michael Penix, one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, and look what they did, flip their season from last year to this year. Oregon brings in Bo Nix, and transforms his career here. So what does this tell you? The NIL, the transfer portal age, when you're here at Oregon and you're succeeding, you can get yourself a nice little bag and you can succeed here. And I think this is the new age of college football. Oregon, they're going to rent out Bo Nix for one more year, and they might have to reach in the portal again. And my take about that in previous years is I didn't like that. But I think this is what we got to be used to, guys. I think Oregon's going to be reaching into the portal. They might go after a top 2024 guy, Dylan Raiola, the top quarterback in the 2024 class, just decommitted from Ohio State. Oregon was in talks with him a lot before he committed to Ohio State. So that's something to look at, and it'll be good. So Who would I take? Dante Moore for 3-4 years versus Bo Nix, a proven quarterback. I'm going to take Bo Nix, man. Maxwell Award finalist, big-time college football quarterback, career year last year. I'll take him one more year and then take my chances at finding an elite prospect. Who wouldn't want to come here after seeing what Bo Nix just did with his career, right? You can pitch that as Dan Lanning and his staff to any recruit, if any transfer recruit that's coming from a big-time program that didn't really get the play time they wanted, and you can transform their career into something special here at Oregon and get the machine behind you and Phil Knight and Nike and that NIL deals, man. It's great. And not only that, they can go ahead and find a nice prospect. The dream, right, is to find the star of your program and have like 2 or 3 5-stars as a backup, right? That's what the Georgias, the Alabamas do. And that's the goal. But nonetheless, I don't think this is a huge loss for Oregon. Obviously, it does hurt, but it's not the program punching loss that would have been probably a decade ago with this transfer portal NIL age. We can use Bo Nix for that next year. He's a proven player. Dante Moore still needs to prove it at this level. Yes, he's the 5-star, and it looks good on paper, but man, we have not seen him play one snap at the college level, where as a Bo Nix, we've seen 4 years of it. We just seen his best year last year, and he's coming back. I'll take that, and I'll go ahead and roll the dice. If Dante Moore wants to enter the transfer portal after 1 year with UCLA and come to Oregon the next year, hell, we'll do that too. We'll see what happens, guys. It's completely the wild, wild west out here with the transfer portal and NIL age, and I'm here for it. I'm always here for you guys as breaking news continues to come out. I'll be here at the Duck Zone 503 podcast. If you guys have not subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, go and follow on Instagram and Twitter at Duck Zone 503 for the quickest updates. Really appreciate everybody who's locked in with the Duck Zone 503 podcast. I'll catch you guys on the next one. As always, go Ducks. I think the Ducks are going to be all right. They lose a 5-star, but Bo Nix is back, baby. I ain't crying about it. Go Ducks.